Morning, everyone. Yeah, okay. Naturally, I would like to give many thanks to you all of here for attending client seminar today, and it's our big pleasure. Yeah, and we hope that the topic today will provide the answer for you, all of you may have. So please kindly help us settle into your seat. And right now, we will come to the one of the biggest benefit that we may receive from participating the social insurance in Vietnam. That is one-time social insurance claims. And before we begin, let's take a moment to look at the profile of a claim group. We are now present in 22 countries, providing the HR solution with a growing reach and brand recognition, trusted by many clients to use our service. And we would like to mention that behind this success are thousands of claim employees whose contribution to create this remarkable value. And I would like to show you the Acclaim Vietnam coverage service for your reference. And about the matter which starting your business, we have the service like about the market entry and licensing, including entry planning and formation structuring. And about the matter related to the managing your business, we have the compliance service, including accounting and tax, HR outsourcing, and corporate governance. And the final one, we have the advisory service, including the transaction, pre-deal, post-deal, and integration service, tax advisory and structuring, and the final one is the corporate restructuring. Yeah, and if you would like to have any inquiry and request us about the service line, you can feel free to reach out with us via Acclaim Vietnam. And specifically, more detail about the payroll service. We have the payroll service as the ongoing monthly foundation. And about the next one, outsourcing EOR service, HR compliance review, BIT declaration, and BIT finalization for both local and expatriate. And we also have the assistant in supporting the employee for the procedure of issuing work permit and work permit exemption, as well as visa and TRCs. And we have the presenter today, our director from payroll team, Ms. Bảo Trân, our consultant from payroll team, Ms. Minh Trang, and I am Vũ Anh, and I have the honor of taking the role of speaker today with my colleague. So, for our partner operating in Vietnam are Mr. Rich Wan. You can reach out with him. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Black, Mr. Kevin, and Miss Thảo. Yeah. So right now we will move on to the next part of this client seminar today, and I will list down to you 4 sections. Yeah, for sure that I will go through each section step by step so that you can not only receive the information but also clearly understanding of this benefit. So we come to the first one, the legal update effective from 1 July 2025. The second one, the overview keyboard of the eligible subject, claim condition, calculation method, and also the required documentation for both local and expatriate. And the third one, the real case example of issue that we have incorporated in practice so that you may be aware and avoid them for the smooth procedure when you processing the one-time social insurance claims. And the final one, the Q&A section where you can feel free to ask whatever you want and have any concerns. So right now, we will move on to the next content about the legal update effective from 1 July 2025. And please kindly note that this is focusing on the local employee and the foreign, keep unchanged. And you can easily see the table, which is the comparison, the information before 1 July 2025 and after 1 July 2025. And we will come to the first bar, that is the eligible condition. So The local employee who will be eligible for this benefit will have no social insurance contribution at least 12 months, and this is also still be the same with the legal update and also the compulsory condition. And about the next point, for individuals who have reached the retirement age but have less than 20 years of contribution, but from a legal update, from 1 July 2025, it will be shortened down into only 15 years of social insurance contributions. And this seems to be the beneficial for the employee. And come to the next point, for employee who have the permanent overseas immigration, and also for individual have the critical illness such as the cancer, server tuberculosis, AIDS, just like that. And these 2 points still be the same with the legal update. And moreover, the laws also expanded more subject conditions such as the individual with the extremely severe disability, and for the employee have the working capacity reduction more than 81% onwards. And about the processing time, for the time to claim the one-time social insurance benefit, it will be changed from 10 working days to only 7 working days since the day of the submission for enough requirement documentation, and as well as the official confirmation from the Social Insurance Authority. And we would like to mention that from our perspective and our experiences in practice, it may be processing manually from 15 days to 20 working days. And time is just the minimum day as determined by the authority. And we come to the next content about the required documentation. And you can see here that this is not changed from the legal update. Before submitting the document to the Social Insurance Authority, we still need to prepare the original social insurance book with the closing paper. That is the first one. The second one is the inputting data of the Form 13 and the Form 14 as the application form. And the third one is the ID card for the local employee and the photocopy of passport for the expatriate. And we also supplement the supporting document if the employee are in a special case as per requested by the officer. And so how about the submitting method? From the, okay, for sure. Yeah, you can take a picture, yeah. So, and about the submission method, from the latest official guidance that the employee and the authorization person still need go to directly the Social Insurance Authority for working on site, reviewing, and also discussing explanation about the required document for pushing the procedure smoothly and quickly, and to avoid a long time waiting as the VA online platform. So how about the policy impact and objective for all the change that I would like to mention it with you early? It encouraged the employee to mention the social insurance in a long time to get the better monthly pension claims, and the employee will be avoided for risk of the having nothing left, just like that, when they are in the retirement age but have less than 20 years of social insurance contribution. So more stable, I would like to emphasize with you on that is the from a legal update applied from 1 July 2025, local employee who are starting the social insurance contribution from this month onwards, and they have no longer and have no anymore to will be eligible for this benefit anymore, even if the employee have the terminated employment at least 12 months. And even if they are in the retirement age but have less than 20 years of social insurance contribution. Yeah. So we will come to the next content about the overview of the local employee and also the expatriate. And I will present to you about the information of the local individual. And Miss Minh Trang from our team will present to you about the expatriate. So before we begin, let's take a look to the overview of the social insurance. So for who don't know and for who already know, that is participating in the social insurance in Vietnam is the application for both employee and employer in Vietnam. And some of that benefit that we may receive from that contribution, this is maybe the sick claim, maternity claim, death benefit, and also the pension claim. And one of the biggest benefit, I would like to mention it with you, that is the one-time social insurance claims for almost people don't know about that. And more specifically, from 1 January 2022, the expatriate will be eligible for this benefit onwards. So we come to the next part of the local employee, that is the claim condition. I have mentioned it with you early, but I would like to re-emphasize it with you for your clearly awareness. So I will list down to you all for 4 sections of this condition. And we come to the first one. And of course, employee who reaching the pension age but have less than 15 years of social insurance contribution will eligible for this benefit. Come to the second one. For individuals who have the working capacity reduction from 81% onwards. And the third one, for individuals who have no longer and are continue living in Vietnam and decide to immigrate overseas. And the final one is for employee who have the contribution, social insurance contribution before 1 July 2025, which is the legal update, and in the meantime have the terminated employment for at least 1 year, and in the meantime have the total contribution period is less than 20 years of contribution. So we will move on to the next part is the calculation method for local employee. And first of all, I will mention with you this calculation formula for your clearly understanding. And please take a read that I will explain it more specifically for your awareness. So we have the claim amount here will be equal to the sum of the 1.5 multiply A plus the sum of the 2 multiply P. And the summary of that, we will take it and multiply it to the average monthly salary. So what is A and B? A is the time of contributing social insurance before 2014, and B is the time of the contributing social insurance after 2014. And in which average monthly salary, we will have the monthly salary per month multiplies adjust rate multiply C, and the summary of that we divide to the total of month contribution of the social insurance. And C here is the number of months contributing the social insurance. And I have mentioned it earlier with you about the adjust rate. So what is it? The adjust rate is the number or determined by the authority, and it's how to create the balance to the value of the money we estimated for one-time social insurance, and it will be changed every year. So if you would like to estimate your one-time social insurance claims, you should research it firstly for your reference. From 1 January 2025, the adjust rate will be applied according to the following table as follows. So right now we will take the example for your clear understanding for this calculation formula. An example here is A local employee is Mr. A, working from April 2020 to August 2023 with the following information. From April 2020 to December 2022, his contract salary is the 12 million Việt Nam đồng. But from January 2023 to August 2023, his contract salary was up to 18 million Việt Nam đồng. So more specifically, this will be analyzed for estimated one-time social insurance for Mr. A as follows. We will come to the section 1 first. We will calculate the social insurance period. So in addition, from April 2020 to December 2020, it will be counted for 9 months and estimated for 1 year. And it also still be the same calculation for the following years. And we have the January 2021 to December 2022, it will be counted for 24 months and estimated for 2 years. And January 2023 to August 2023, it will be counted for 8 months and estimated for 1 year, so that we have the total contributing years is 41 months, estimated for 4 years, the result of D. Come to the section 2, we will calculate the social insurance salary. Firstly, we have total social insurance calculation from April 2020 to December 2020. We have the monthly salary multiplied adjust rate in the 2020, multiply the 9 months we have calculated before, so that we will have the result of E. And please can you note that this still be the same calculation for the formula for the following year of 2021 and 2022. So we will have the result of F and G. But from 2023, his contract salary was up to the 80 million Việt Nam đồng. So we will take it and multiply the adjust rate in the 2020 is the 1.04 and multiplies 8 months. So that we will have the result of H. And in the meantime, we will have the summary of E, F, G, H, and we will take it to divide the result of D, 41 months, so that we will have the result of the average monthly salary. And finally, I will pick the result of average monthly salary and put into the calculation formula, so that I will have the claim amount will be equal to 2 multiplies the average monthly salary in both information multiplies 4 years in the section 1 we have calculated before, so that we will have done and completely the estimated one-time social insurance claim amount for Mr. A. So I hope this align with your clearly understanding. So we will come to the final part, information of the local employee, that is the requirement documentation. So as I mentioned to you before submitting the requirement documentation to the Social Insurance Authority, we need to prepare as the following document. The first one, of course, is the original copy for the social insurance book with the closing papers. And this is the application for the company when the employee have terminated employment with the company, so that the employer needs to work directly with the Social Insurance Authority to issue this document for the employee. And the second one is the photocopy of the ID card for the local employee. And the third one is we need to prepare the inputting data of the Form 13 and the Form 14 SSB as the application form and send this document to the Social Insurance Authority. So for individuals who have not continuing living in Vietnam, in addition to this document, there's 3 documents I have mentioned it with you earlier. There's one more supporting document we need to prepare and submit it to the authority. That is the certificate of the completion authority on renunciation of Vietnamese nationality, or or notarization translation for one of the following documents issued by the foreign country. That is maybe the passport, the first one, or a visa with the confirmation of the entry permit for the region of the resident abroad. The third one is the certificate about the carrying out the process for naturalization in the foreign country. And the final one, you may be preparing the certificate paper or the PRC, which is the permanent resident card in terms of 5 years living in Vietnam. So that's all information related to the local employee I would like to emphasize with you all. So thank you for listening to my part. So right now, the overview information of the expatriate will be presented by Ms. Minh Trang from our team. Thank you.
Thanks, Vuan, for sharing with us about the legal update effective from the 1st of July 2025 and providing an overview regarding to the one-time social insurance benefit for local employee. I'm Minh Trang and I will now continue our section with the one-time social insurance benefit for foreign employees. We would like to move to the next part, claim conditions for one-time social insurance benefits for foreign employee. According to Clause 2, Article 70 of Laws on Social Insurance 2014, 2020, Laws on Social Insurance 2024, the foreign employees are entitled to receive the one-time social insurance benefit as request if they fall into one of the following cases. Number one, they have reached the retirement age but have not yet paid full of 15 years of social insurance contribution. Number two, they have a work capacity reduction from 81% onward or are classified as a person with a particular severe disability, such as suffering from cancer, polio, HIV infection that has turned into AIDS, or other disease as prescribed by the Ministry of Health. Number three, they are eligible for pension but do not continue to reside in Vietnam. Number four, they have a labor contract terminate or work permit exemption, practical certificate, practical license are expired without being renewed. So sharing about the condition for one-time social insurance benefit, I would like to move to the calculation for this benefit. As everyone can see here on the screen, according to Clause 2, Article 8, from the Decree 115 in 2015, the calculation for one-time social insurance will as follows. The claims amount will be equal to 2 times the average monthly social insurance salary, multiplied by the numbers of years contributing social insurance, in which the average monthly salary will be equal to the total social insurance salary of month contributing social insurance, divided to the numbers of months contributing the social insurance. We have a few notes here for everyone to more understand. For the employee who participate in the social insurance program for more than 1 year, if the contribution period is from 1 month to 6 months, it will be considered as half year. If the contribution period is from 7 months to 11 months, it will be counted at 1 year. For the employee who participates in the social insurance program for less than 1 year, the estimated claim amounts of them will be calculated at 22% of the average monthly social insurance salary multiplied by the numbers of months contributing social insurance. However, the total amount received will not exceed 2 months of the average social insurance salary. To make it easier for you to understand, we would like to share with you 2 examples for more to have you have a reference about the calculations. For example, number 1, we will meet a foreign employee, Mr. Kim, who has a labor contract from February 2021 to May 2023 with the monthly salary of 25 million down. For Mr. Kim's cases, we would like to analyze as is below. For his total contributing period, we have separated into 3 phases. As one had shared in the previous slide, that the foreign employee will entitled to the one-time social insurance benefits starting from the 1st of January 2022. So for the working period of Mr. Kim from February 2021 to December 2021, it will be considered as not eligible contribution period. So we will not calculate this period into the total contribution years. From the number 2 periods will be from January 2022 to December 2022. It's 12 months, and of course, will be considered as 1 year. From January 2023 to May 2023, it will be 5 months, and we will estimate at its half year. So the total contributing years of Mr. Kim will be 1.5 years. For the average social insurance salary, we kindly share with you information about this period. That's from January 2022 to May 2023. The capped social insurance salary is calculated at 29,800,000 down. The cap of the social insurance salary will be decided by the government for depend on each period. However, for Mr. Kim's case, as you can see that his salary is lower than the cap salary amount, so his average social insurance salary will be remained at 25 million down. Based on that information, we will have the final calculation for the claim amount. That's 2 times the average social salary, which is 25 million, and multiplies the total contributing years, in which here is 1.5 years. So his estimated claim amount will be 75 million down. We kindly share another example. In these cases, we will meet Ms. Jasmine, who was worked under labor contract from January 2022 to August 2024, with her monthly salaries will be 15 million down. And we kindly analyze her working periods, just the same case of Ms. Kim as follows. For the social insurance period, she worked for the cases from January 2022 to December 2023. It's 24 months, and yes, it's equal to 2 years. From January 2024 to August 2024 is 8 months, and we will consider as it's 1 year. So her total contributing years will be 32 months, and we will consider as it's 3 years. For the social insurance salaries of Ms. Jasmine, I have shared in the previous slide that we will have the cap salary amount depend on each period. So for the period from January 2022 to June 2023, the cap salary amount will be 29,800,000 down, and it will last 18 months. So for the period from July 2023 to June 2024, the cap salary amount will be 36 million down, which is last 12 months. For July 2024 to August 2024, the cap salary amount will be 46,800,000 down for 2 months. So we have the cap salary amounts here is X, Y, and Z. And we will, for the monthly salaries of Miss Jasmine, she has the salaries of 15 million per month and it's higher than all the cap amount. So the maximum contribution salaries of hers will be depends on the which will be equal to the cap salary amount of each period. So we will have Miss Jasmine average monthly salary will be X multiplies 18 months plus Y multiplies for 12 months and Z multiplies for 2 months. And the summary of this, we will divide it into her total working period, which is 32 months. And we will have the average monthly salaries. You can see here on the screen. So after all the calculation, we will have her final claims amount calculated as follows. The claims amount will be 2 times equals the average monthly salaries. You can see here on the screen and multiplies by the total contributing years, which is 3 years in this case. So we will have her final amount here on the screen. To provide you with more details for after we have a reference about the calculations, we will now moving forward to the necessary document when you would like to submit the application regarding to the one-time social insurance benefit with the authority. According to the decision 166 in 2019 from the Social Insurance Department, the foreign employee, when they would like to submit the application, they will have to ready the following document. First of all, we will need the social insurance books with social insurance closing paper, just the same as the local employee. Number 2, they will need the labor contract and the termination decision. Number 3, the work permit or work permit exemption. Number 4, passport with the notarized and translation version. The final one will be Form 13, the power of attorney, or Form 14, the claim request based on the templates of the authority. We just would like to have a small note here that for Form 30, the power of attorney, this only requires in case the employee that's authorized to the other to continue to work with the authority on their behalf. In case they still reside in Vietnam and can come to the authority and work directly with them, this document is not mandatory. To share with you, we would like to share in the screen here some example of the necessary document for your reference. We would like to show that this is the social insurance books when both local and foreign employee start contribute the social insurance contribution. The social insurance department, they will issue the social insurance books for all the employees. Typically for foreign employee, the HR department, they will keep the social insurance books on the employee behalf, and they will hand over for the employee when they terminate the contract with the company. Next, I would like to show a sample of the social insurance closing paper when the employee resign and terminate the labor contract with the company. The company is obligated to inform this information to the authority, and the social insurance department, they will issue the social insurance closing paper to record the working period of that employees under the company. So this document is the necessary document, and the company is obligated to complete this process on the employee behalf. Next one, we kindly share an example of the work permit. When a foreign employee starts to work under a company in Vietnam, they will need to have a legal work permit to ensure that they have full package document to start the work under a labor contract with a Vietnam employer. So this document is mandatory and required when they start working, and all the foreign employee will have this document or have the work permit exemption in case they are fallen into the work permit exemption cases. After sharing some sample of the required document, we would like to moving forward and sharing some special situation when submitting the one-time social insurance application for both local and foreign employee. Besides the standard package that we share regarding the case of local and foreign employee, there are some special case when submitting the application. The authority might request the additional document submitted by the employee. First of all, in case the employee is suffering from the life-threatening disease such as cancer, polio, HIV infection that has turned into AIDS, the social insurance department will require a copy or a summary of the medical record to demonstrate the non-sales service status of that employee. And in case they suffering from the other disease as prescribed by the Ministry of Health, the social insurance will require an additional report, which is a report on assessment of the degrees of working capacity of 81% onward from the Medical Assessment Council, showing that the employee are unable to serve themselves. And in case where the employees, they would like to receive the payment from the medical assessment fee, the authority will require additional record, which is the invoice and receipt attached together with the original list of the content from the medical assessment establishment. The final special case here, this is based on ACLAM practical experience. When we working with the authority, we have met some of the foreign employees when they would like to claim the one-time social insurance benefit. However, the work permit already been returned to the Department of Home Affairs. So in this case, the authority will ask them to supplement the confirmation letter, which is verifying that the work permit already been returned to the department, and this document will be helped to replace for the work permit at earlier sharing from our sharing. I would like to share a sample of the confirmation from Department of Home Affairs. So when some HR department, when the employee when they are terminate the labor contract, they will promptly return the work permit to Doha. So when they return it, the department will issue a confirmation letter, just like the symbol in the screen, to confirm that the work permit already been returned, and we will use this in the package to submit the one-time social insurance application. Now we will move to the final part of section 2, which is action process. In this part, I would like to share into 2 different timelines. For the first timeline we share here is on the screen. This is sharing based on the consumption that our clients would like to intend to use ACLAM one-time social insurance claim services, and we will have a standard procedure as follows. Once clients reach out ACLAM team via website or email to ask about the one-time social insurance claim services, we will promptly sharing the initial information about the claim process within 2 working days. And in the initial sharing, we will mention that there are several necessary documents that will need client sharing for us, and we will cross-checking the document. And after we receive the email and the document from the clients, we will have the next step, which is document review. We will take around 3 to 5 working days, review all the submitted document and ask the eligibility of the claim application. We will highlight with clients that the eligibility of their claim application, or they need to supplement any additional supporting document for their claim processes. After we sharing the information, document being reviewed, and the clients will feedback with us that they would like to use our acclaim services. After we receive the confirmation about the service acceptance, we will take around 5 working days for preparing the engagement letter and issue invoice for our supporting tasks. And after the engagement letter have been complete and the clients already processed payment to acclaim, we will take 3 to 5 working days to arrange for the notarization process. For this step, typically we will have a meeting at the notary office, and in that meeting, the clients will authorize acclaim team member to work with the authority on their behalf, and we will also notarize the necessary document, just as we mentioned in the earlier slide, just as passport or some necessary document. After we complete the authorization and notarization process, we will keep all the current document in hand, and we will need to await a little more time. For this step, I would like to clarify that when an employee terminate, when a client reach out to acclaim, they typically will have just resigned from the previous company, and the company have not yet get the social insurance closing paper from the authority, and they have not hand over the necessary documents such as the social insurance books or the termination decision for this employee. So we will need to wait the former HR department of our clients to complete the process from their side and share the necessary for us. After complete the notarization and authorization process, the clients may depart from Vietnam, but we will continue work with the former HR department to receive all the required documents. This is the previous slide will be the working timeline from acclaim team, and this slide we will share the action timeline, which is when we start the claim process, and we just kindly note that the claim process will start after we receive all the necessary documents, including social insurance books and social insurance closing paper. And this process will be follow the procedure of the social insurance department. When we receive all the necessary documents, we will have around 5 working days to prepare all the sets of documents and have arrange a meeting with the social insurance officer to submit the document. When we come to the scheduled meeting with the social insurance officer, we will have around 2 working days to discuss with them about the first round of submission. Just a little share that when we come to the social insurance department, we will meet the social insurance officer and we will have the first round review. They will quick check all the required documents from outside, and they will, when they found that all the submitted documents seem to be appropriate, the first round they will issue acceptance receipt notice, and in the receive notification, they will have a timeline, and we will continue working with them from after we complete the first round. So we will have the second round around 20 to 30 working days. In this period, our submitted document from the first round will be reviewed once again with the higher level, and they will have many more questions about the claim application, and some of that the officer may contact with us and request that we will need to submit the additional document, or we will need to explain for their concern and discuss further with them. And after we complete the explanation and sublimation process with them, and they finally found that the backup document will be seem appropriate and we can move forward, we need to wait around more than about 15 to 20 working days for the result. And after the long wait, we will have official claim result, and they will have a letter for us. After they issuing the letter regarding to the result, we will wait around 3 to 7 working days to receive the claim refund from the authority side. For the claim refunds, we will have 2 scenarios. In the first scenario, the foreign employee, when they left Vietnam, they still would like to keep their Vietnamese bank account. So when we process the claim application, the fund can be transferred directly to their Vietnamese bank account. For the second scenario, some of the foreign employees, when they left Vietnam, they would like to close their Vietnamese bank account. And for this scenario, we will support that we will receive the claim refund on their behalf, and we will directly transfer it into the Vietnamese bank account of their relatives, such as close friend or family. So when the claim refund already been received by a claim team or by the employees, we will complete this process. And this is the end of the section 2, and we kindly move to the next part, section 3, about the issue for attention. And we would like to introduce Ms. Bảo Trân here from our team to sharing about this information.
Thank you, Vũ Anh and Minh Trang, for your sharing. Since the one-time social insurance for foreign employee, which took effect from the 1st of January 2022, ACLAM has successfully supported around over 20 cases for foreign employees to claim the one-time social insurance. And one employee will be considered the foreign employees. We will base on the nationality, and they will, if the nationality is not Vietnamese, we will consider this is the foreign employees. And during the working time, some reason the foreign employee reached out to ACLAM to need our assistance to claim the one-time social insurance because firstly, they try to submit the application many times. However, the application were rejected for many reasons. And secondly, because the paperwork and the documentation are very complicated. And we do not just to submit the application, then everything is done. And we're just waiting for the result. But it requires the specialized knowledge to explain, to clarify some situation to the authority, because when we submit the application to claim the one-time social insurance, the authority will review on document, they review on full working process of the foreign employee in Vietnam. From the entire time they have entered and worked in Vietnam. And after many cases we work with the authority, there are many issues we would like to share with you for your information based on our experience. The first, when we submit the application, the authority will review the document, and in case they find out that the start date mentioned on the labor contract does not match with the work permit or work permit exemption, the application will be rejected. And because this employee come to Vietnam and work in Vietnam without the work permit and work permit exemption, and for this reason, it's considered non-compliant with the Vietnamese labor law. So please pay attention that when foreign employee come to Vietnam and start to work, the company have to apply the work permit or work permit exemption before signing the labor contract. Similarly, after checking the information in the system, the authority find out that the social insurance contribution record in the system does not match with the labor contract. For example, the labor contract starts from the 1st of August. However, the social insurance contribution starts on the 1st of September. It's not matched. So for this reason, when the foreign employee come to work and sign the labor contract with the company have to register with the social insurance department immediately. And for the employee names, after checking, the employee names were recorded in the social insurance department does not match with the ID card or the passport. Especially for the foreign employee, the names is often reversed between the first name and the last name. So when you receive the social insurance paper, please check the information to ensure the name is correct. And then we can come back to the HR department and require them to make adjustment if there's any error. And for both local and foreign employee, full information should be updated at the present time on the system of the government. For example, the tax department or the social insurance department. There's some case when we submit the application, the authority find out that the information is recorded in the social insurance system is the old passport, and they reject the application. And in this case, they will require the employee to come back and request the company to make adjustment to ensure the information record in the social insurance department must be the information updated at the present time. And in the past time, when employee authorized to order on behalf of them to work with the authority, we can submit the authorization letter. However, the new regulation from the authority, we have to submit the power of attorney contract along with the application. So from now on, when employee authorized to other person to work with the authority on their behalf, we have to submit the power of attorney contract instead of the authorization letter. And this will be the list of the documentation we have to prepare to submit to the authority. If any documentation or record as missing or lack of some paper, the authority will reject our application. For this reason, when employee, someone authorized to acclaim on behalf of them to work with authority, we will check the information very carefully to ensure that documentation and the records are completed and valid before submission. And when most of foreign employees, when they end the labor contract in Vietnam, most of them will return to their home country. And of course, the bank account in Vietnam will be deactivated unless the foreign employee requests the bank continue activating their bank account in Vietnam. And normally, when the foreign employee authorized ACLAM to, on behalf of them, to handle the one-time social insurance, the authorized person from ACLAM will receive the money on their behalf. And then we will transfer to relatives or friends of the foreign employee in Vietnam. However, the new regulation from Hanoi, a social insurance department, this method is not accepted. This means that the authorized person cannot receive the money on their behalf, and the bank account receive the money must be the bank account of the foreign employee. So in Hanoi, the foreign employee must keep their bank account in Vietnam to receive the money. Cannot authorize to another person. And as Vũ Anh shared with you in the previous slide, there's two cases cannot claim the one-time social insurance anymore. The first one is the local employee who participate the social insurance contribution from the 1st of July 2025. And the second one is the person who have to withdraw the social insurance contribution before the 1st of July 2025. Both cases cannot claim the one-time social insurance from now on. And beside the social insurance contribution, we would like to share with you some issues related to the foreign employee. When they end the labor contract in Vietnam, because under Vietnamese labor law, the foreign employee do not participate in employment insurance, and therefore they cannot receive the unemployment insurance allowance when they unemployed. Instead, they will receive the severance allowance. And after many cases, I talked with the foreign employee. Most of them, they don't know about this benefit. And they said that they have surprised because they, despite work in Vietnam many years and work in company many years, but when they end the contract, they do not receive this compensation. And they will receive the severance allowance with the condition that they work in the company at least 12 months. And after they leave the company will pay the severance allowance with a half of the average salary of the last 6 months, multiply the number of the actual working years they work in Vietnam, but they not contribute the, do not participate the unemployment insurance. And the last but not least, when the foreign employee end the employment in Vietnam and they return their home country, they should complete the personal income tax finalization before leaving Vietnam. This will help them to comply with the Vietnamese law and to protect them any legal risk in the future in case they live in Vietnam or re-entering Vietnam for the future employment. And the personal income tax finalization can handle by themselves independently, or they can authorize to company or the third party to handle this on behalf of them. And we will go through the discussion because this topic today, we focus on the one-time social insurance. So we will priority to give the answer or explanation related to this topic. And we also received some questions from attendees related to the one-time social insurance. If we have time, we will come back and explain the topic with another question.
We have received several questions from the seminar registration form. So we would like to move one by one and sharing some information for everyone. First of all, for the question number one, if a foreigner does not have the insurance books, just have the scanned version, in this case, they can have the required document notarized. As I have shared in my presentation, that when you have the notarization or authorization process at the notary office, some of the employees have just resigned from the company and they have not yet obtained the social insurance books and social insurance closing paper in hand. So for the notarization process, the scanned copy versions is appropriate and we can move forward with the notarization process. For the next step of the submission to the authority, then the hard copy of the social insurance books will be required for this step. So for the question.
The question one, how can foreign employee get the one-time social insurance refund when they do not live Vietnam or are not unemployed? As we mentioned before, the condition to claim the one-time social insurance, the foreign employees must end the labor contract in Vietnam and they must return the work permit or work permit exemption, and maybe they return to their home country. So if they still work in Vietnam or they are not unemployed, they cannot receive the one-time social insurance. Yeah. Okay. Question one. Yeah.
For question one, I have shared that in the notarization process, the social insurance books we may have not yet obtained the social insurance books, hard copy of social insurance books in hand. So we can use the scanned version for this step, and we can use the scan or some of the cases the employees only have the social insurance numbers and have not yet seen the scan version, and we can process notarize at the.
It's been that for the notarized process, the authority not require the social insurance book or the social paper. So we do not need to submit this documentation at this step. Yeah, we just make the notarization process. Yes.
Yeah, and about question three, I will represent to answer this question. The employee worked in Vietnam from August 2022 to July 2024, but couldn't claim their social insurance despite submitting all required documents. And as the authority required their physical presence in Vietnam, they are now asking us that if there are an authoritative way to claim without returning in persons. So when we're reading this question, we can get awareness about that. The employee here was in the overseas, and the employee to request their employer submitting all required documents to the authority and have no plan to return in Vietnam. And we would like to mention that this is the important procedure. The important procedure that is the authority request us the employee need to present in the notary office and authorize directly to the employer or the relevant orders they would like to authorize. So if if there is without the authorization contract, there is no possible way to receive this benefit. So they still need to have the plan to return in Vietnam. And about the question 4, in general, social insurance benefits are unclear to me. So please clarify this more specifically. And I would like to take you back the slide 11 for your clear understanding. So wait us a minute. And as I mentioned it to you earlier, that is the participating in the social insurance in Vietnam is the application for employee and also both for employer. And some of that benefit that we may receive from this contribution is sick claim, maternity claim, death benefit, and also the pension claims. And more specifically for the expatriate, from 1 January 2022, the foreign employee are also be eligible for this benefit. And this individual will be eligible for only subjects have the labor contract or for the expatriate is being as the resident in Vietnam, so that the employee and also the employer take the application for participating the social insurance.
And as I already shared with you, with foreign employee, because they do not participate the unemployment insurance, instead they will receive the severance allowance. So this is the one of important benefit for foreign employee in Vietnam.
So we will come to the next question about the question 5. Ms. Minh Chan will represent it.
For the question number 5, I have not yet understood the procedure step for paperwork requirement for the one-time social insurance claim. Can you help me to go through again? So I would like to re-show the slide number 23 about our required document. Please wait us for a little moment. So for this slide, we already mentioned about all the necessary documents for the one-time social insurance application. For all, we just would like to note that the social insurance books and social insurance paper, we will need a hard copy version. The labor contract and terminate decision, we will need the hard copies of this document. The labor contract, we can have the notarized copy version. For the work permit and work permit exemption, this can be the copy notarized version. For the passport, yes, we have mentioned here the notarized and translation version. And Form 13, in case you would like to authorize us to authorize others to work in with the authority on your behalf, and the Form 14 for the claim request. This Form 14 will be following the templates by the Social Insurance Department. And once we submit, we will need to submit full package of these documents. And we also would like to reshare about slide 30 about the action process with the Social Insurance Department. So when from the step number 1 received all the necessary document, here we need to receive the full package that we have mentioned in the previous slide. And with the package, we will submit it to the Social Insurance Department. They will review and they will require us to explain and maybe submit the additional supporting document for the claim process. And finally, they will issue the claim result for the case. Finally, we will have the claim refund after. And when we submit all the document to the social insurance department, they will keep it and they will not return it back to the employee.
And we also received one more question. The time attendee question about how is the one-time, what it mean? One-time social insurance here is the mean that when the foreign employee end the employment in Vietnam and they return to their home country, they have no plan to stay in Vietnam with another job. They can claim one-time social insurance, mean one time only. Yes. So any question related to one-time social insurance? Yes. Yes.
Sign the contract signing, immigration and movement process starts.
Yes.
It takes 2 to 3 months to come to Vietnam after signing the contract. When we reach to Vietnam, then we apply for the work permit and we get the work permit back.
Yes.
But our initial contract always have the 3 to 4 month earlier date than the work permit initiated date. So how to handle this?
Rickwan, can you help me to explain this situation? Yes, our expert.
I think this is a very common situation. Therefore, we suggest them that do not sign the employment contract, sign the offer letter. And when you sign the offer letter, then you need to get the work permit first before you sign the employment. So in that case, there is kind of this discrepancy, which I understand from the point if you are coming from outside, you need to sign that one. Therefore, the work permit process should start from before you come to Vietnam, because by law, you cannot start working unless you have the work permit. In certain scenarios, we have seen where foreigners who started working their employment contract before having the work permit, then in that case, the authorities say that, sorry, we do not accept this. Right? So this is, of course, this is something that, and I think it's a little bit more about the HR practices in Vietnam, where most HRs, they are so used to dealing with the Vietnamese staff, not with the foreign staff, right? And don't get me wrong, when I came to Vietnam long ago, in 2008, I came first and then the work permit process started. Because at that time, there was no requirement for one-time social claim, there are no benefit as such. So it does not really matter for me. But 1st of January, then you need to look into that, how it is started, and then you will claim for the security benefits.
It has already happened, then what to do?
Bad luck, yeah, they love me. Like in French, we say it's life, right? Yeah, I mean, I understand. This is the problem with a lot of foreigners than those who are starting. And then not only that, the companies need to look into that if you are giving salary to someone without having the work permit, it's not CIT deductible. That is one of the challenges. Then the labor regulations are not followed. Then the problem with the foreigner as well, when they are leaving, they may not be able to claim the social security benefit as well. So you need to look into the document. If you are working as a foreigner, if you are working, look back at the trail. Unfortunately, nothing can be changed because the employment contract is submitted to the Labor Department, and that already has been processed when you started working on that. Internal document, you may look into that and see that what can be done. But if it is submitted to authorities, there is no way you can change that, unfortunately. We don't recommend to change anything backdated, because there are authorities involved. That's something that it's basically I would say that 90% in 90% cases that is the situation. People do not get the offer letter first, they sign right away employment. And that is a challenge.
Second question. I'm in Vietnam for 2 years, but this is the first time I heard about social insurance. I'm not sure my employer is doing it or not. This is the first time ever I heard in last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that, I mean, if, and even this is the even multinational company, the HR, they may not be updated, they do not know, because these kind of, first, this is relatively new, 4 years, less than 4 years. And the second thing is that HR, they don't really look into the scenarios, because generally the local staff, they keep moving from company to company, they have not claimed that one, right? But then, I mean, in certain cases, that is the situation. Chand, perhaps one question you can, because you mentioned about the one-time social claim.
Yes.
So what would happen if an employee comes to Vietnam, work for, let's say, 2 years, in 2025 left, and then the person come again in 2030?
Yeah.
Can they claim again or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. The answer is yes. They can claim back.
So just exactly. So this is my point, to just to clarify that the one time does not mean one time in your lifetime, one time while you stay in Vietnam. It is possible that you can, you come back. And this is exactly what happened to me, not from the social security point of view. I was in Vietnam, 2012, I left Vietnam, and then I came back.
Isn't that recommendable every time I get a new work permit?
No, because
applying for new work permit is basically running for new work. I need the university degree and education. So why not expire the work permit, get my one time off, and 1 month later okay.
Right. So in that case, if you are with the same employer, then you cannot claim that. You claim only when you're leaving, when you have significant condition that you cannot work. There are certain requirements for that. If you are, for example, if you're leaving one employer, joining another one, in that case, theoretically, you can do that. So you resign from one employer, you went outside of Vietnam, after 3-4 months, you come back. So that is the case. But the process will take, I mean, the process timeline is something that we talk about a couple of months. In practice, it may take a little bit longer. One more point in this one, talking about those who are outside. So notarization, if the person is not in Vietnam, they can do notarization in another country, and they can legalize it in the Vietnamese embassy, and they can send the document here.
No, because in the new regulation, the authorization process require two parties must present at the office. Yes.
So which means that you also need to consider when you are resigning from a job, generally the company will ask to return the work permit, and when they return the work permit, they have to inform immigration that your work permit is no longer valid. So the immigration will give you an exit visa. That may be 7 days, that may be 15 days, maybe 1 month. I know one case from a big company, and the person was given only 15 days, right? When I was on the business visas, so at that time I got 1 month. So it depends on how the authorities will give the exit visa to you. So that means the moment you resign, you start working on that. Otherwise, the issue will be that your visa will run out, and then you have to come back again to Vietnam. You have to exit and come back to Vietnam. So that is also another important consideration as a foreigner. Unless you are on the family visa, in that case, you don't get the exit visa. Yes.
Just a remark to the bank accounts. The banks in Vietnam will not give a foreigner a bank account without work permit, without residence card, without labor contract.
Okay.
So it's not correct to say just send it on my bank account. It's not there. The bank will revoke the account immediately.
Right. Okay. So it depends on which bank you are working with. I'm not going to name one of the foreign bank. They block 1 month before the work permit expires. They do that. They are very notorious about this. Not going to name them. Those who are dealing with that, they know. I know another bank, for example, Standard Chartered, they keep your account open for this one. I know this from first hand from someone who left Vietnam. They have that one. Other Vietnamese local bank, they do keep your account. They ask for where the funds are coming from. So if you say, for example, Vietcom Bank, I can name the bank. I've been with Vietcom Bank since 2008. And they say that, okay, if you do not have visa, if you do not have work permit, no problem, but the money cannot come into your bank account except for Social Security. So they do accept that one. So as weird or as strange it may sound, I always support to have a bank account in a local bank, not in a foreign bank in Vietnam. Unfortunately, that is the case. Their compliance requirements are much more stringent than the local banks have. And that's my experience for the last 17 years living in Vietnam. So there are ways for that. So you can get it done, but you need to go to another bank and then they will allow you to do that. Any other questions? I'm sure that you have a lot of questions. So what we can do is we can have some snacks and we can have some offline informal discussion. And if you have any question, Chan is here. She's expert in that. Her team is very expert in that. And I'm also here. So we will continue our discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Very good.